Hi everyone, it's Talia and welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video. Today we are doing a sit down and chat video and I just love doing these videos. I love talking to you guys. I feel like when I started off YouTube, I don't really know what I was doing. I don't know what my niche was or what I was doing or anything. But what I do know is I used to do loads of like sit down and chat videos and I just miss them so friggin' much. So whenever I do get to do them, I do not take it for granted. So for today's video, as you guys can probably tell from the title, I'm going to be answering questions that I have avoided. And I feel like there's a lot of questions that I haven't really answered. I feel like my vibe on YouTube used to always be kind of like older sister vibes, and I just tell you guys about my life experiences, and I think the older that I've gotten, the more closed off I've become. So we're stopping that. I want to be an open book. So what other way to start than answering questions that I don't really want to answer? You always say you don't have any friends. Why is that? I actually don't know if I've ever addressed this, but when I say I have 2 friends, like, I mean it. It has only just recently gone up to 2 as well. I used to only have 1 friend and that was Amber, but I now have Amber and Jess, who both live 3 hours away from me. So that's kind of annoying. But if I'm honest, the reason why I only have 2 friends is I'm very much like a 50-50 kind of gal. Like if someone's not making that other 50% effort with me, I can be a little bit ruthless and I will just cut people out. I'm just like, if you're not making an effort, I'm not going to make an effort, and then it will just fizzle out. And if I'm being completely honest, I value the quality of a friendship over the quantity. And don't get me wrong, like there are times that I absolutely wish that I had more friends, but the relationships I have with my only 2 friends is something that I'd rather have than loads of friends who I don't really have that deep of like a connection with. That sounds really cringy, but I hope that makes sense. It's not really like I argue with people loads, like it's nothing to do with that. And I feel like normally when you don't have a lot of friends, people just kind of assume like you're the issue, and it's not really that. I'm just not close to anyone that I went to school with. And I think when I was at school, I was very much in the mindset of like, I'm only friends with these girls because I see them every day. We didn't have anything in common. Like it was purely because I was just seeing them every day that I was friends with them. Whereas in like later on in life, I choose my friends because of the things we have in common. And I'm so grateful for YouTube because both Amber and Jess I met through YouTube, hence why they both live 3 hours away. And the amount of times I just think like, why can't they just live like 5 minutes down the road is a lot, and it does actually get to me. But Aiden is also really good friends with Jess's boyfriend and Amber's boyfriend, so it's really nice that I have 2 best friends and like Aiden is also friends with their boyfriends. So yeah, I'm happy with my small circle. Why aren't you and your boyfriend living together? I got a lot of questions about this, and it was like, why has Aiden moved out? And I was like, moved out? He never moved in. But I guess the confusion of that is Aiden did move in with us during lockdown, so I guess I can kind of understand why you think that he's moved out. I mean, we both live at home, so, you know, he lives in his house, I live in my house, we see each other at each other's houses, but we don't live together. And the reason why we don't live together is because we can't buy a house. Like it's so freaking expensive to buy houses right now. And I also found out the other day via TikTok, which I know sounds bad, but it is actually true, that Help to Buy is stopping, and Help to Buy was going to be mine and Aiden's, you know, step onto the property ladder, and now it's ending. It's just not good news. But yeah, that's basically why we don't live together. Nothing more, nothing less. We just don't have a deposit. What is the reason you don't see doing influencing as a full-time thing? Now this is kind of breaking the video a little bit because I have answered this before, but I thought I'd answer it again because I do get asked this quite a lot, because people are like, why would you not want to do influencing full-time? Like, it sounds great. Like it is. And I have done influencing full-time before. However, I worry a lot. I'm an overthinker, I worry. No day is stress-free. And the thing with influencing, I hate calling myself an influencer. I go with content creator because I don't actually influence anyone. Like I'm not a body positivity person. Like I'm just here to entertain you guys pretty much. Like that is what I say that I do on like my social media. However, the reason why I would not go full-time again is I can't deal with the stress of the money. I'm going to be very brutal and open with you guys. You've heard it 1,000,001 times. YouTube Instagram, everything, it's just a roller coaster. Like, you never know how much money you're making unless you're like insanely popular. But for someone like me, I'm still a small content creator, and money is just so up and down, and especially with wanting to move out. And when I went full time, I just had so much pressure on myself to pay my bills, to save, like to do so many things in life. And it got to, like, I'm gonna be honest, it got to a point and I was just putting out videos that I knew would get views because I needed the money to pay my bills, especially during lockdown. Like, there were no brand deals about, it was purely just AdSense from YouTube, and it was a really rough time and I wasn't enjoying it. So as you guys know, a year ago, has it been a year yet? Not quite a year, but almost a year ago, I decided to get a part-time job, just like an admin job. And it's honestly been the best decision that I have ever done, because I have a set amount of money that comes into my bank account every month that pays off my bills and more. So I don't have to stress about the money side of social media anymore. And my love for it has just come flooding back and I enjoy it so much now. So yeah, that's why I wouldn't ever do it again. Now, that's not to say that I'd stay in my admin job for the rest of my life, because I'm not gonna lie, it's not my burning passion in life to like send out emails all day. But I do want to dance, as you guys may or may not know. So yeah, starting from this year, we're gonna try and get those wheels in motion. But that is why. Money, basically. What's the situation with the other people you live with? So if you guys don't know, we currently live in Essex. We moved here 2 years ago, and we actually moved in with my mum and her boyfriend, and her boyfriend has 3 kids. Yeah, 3 kids. Well, I don't know why, I just thought it was 4. 3 kids. And the 2 younger ones aren't normally here, but the older one like is at uni, so he's like back and forth. But yeah, that's kind of the situation. Like, there's not really much to it. I very much always kept myself to myself in this house, and I think it's quite, I'm not gonna lie, it has 100% been very, very difficult to continue doing social media whilst living in a house with people that aren't your family. I don't know if that makes sense, but like Brandon, my brother, and my mum are very much used to it because like they've been here the whole time. But doing it in front of other people that like you don't really know and you're not really comfortable with, like, it has been really hard. And I'm not gonna lie, I feel like my channel went downhill a lot after moving here because I wasn't as comfortable in my own environment. Like, I film a lot of videos, obviously food related videos, so I have to be in a kitchen, but there'd be people downstairs, it'd be loud. Like, I feel like I've really had to like tone myself down a lot whilst being here. Like, not in everyday life, but in like my social media life. I mean, there's a big announcement coming next week, so stay tuned for that. Why do we never see your dad? I used to get this question a lot when I started YouTube, and I actually never really get it anymore. And the reason why you never see my dad, I think my dad has been in like a second of one video like years ago. I want to say like 4 years ago. But the reason you never see him is like, I don't live with him. Obviously my parents split up, I want to say like 12 years ago. I was 11. And I just like, I don't really see my dad that often, if I'm being honest. Like, we live in Essex, he lives not here. And yeah, it's just, I don't know. I'm just a lot closer with my mum. I don't really see my dad that much. And that's kind of why you guys have never seen him and probably never will. You don't talk much about losing weight, etc. now. Are you happy with where you are? Trigger warning, just for anyone out there. Obviously gonna start talking about weight right now, so if you don't want to watch that, please click out. Thank you. But the reason why I don't talk about losing weight anymore is I haven't lost weight since I lost my initial weight. If you guys don't know, like, I went through a weight loss journey on, like, whilst I was on YouTube, and I used to get so many questions about it, and I used to make a lot of videos about it. And the reason why, as I said, I don't is because I haven't lost any more weight since then, really. Like, I've kind of just like plateaued, and I think this is where my body is like comfortable, if that makes sense. Like, I don't really gain a lot of weight and I don't really lose a lot of weight. But am I happy with where I am? No. I'm not, but I don't think I'll ever be happy, if I'm being completely honest. Like, I could lose more weight. I just don't think I'll ever be happy, which is quite sad to think about. But I mainly don't talk about it anymore because people were telling me I was being really boring. One of my, like, not fears in life, but something I'm really insecure about is being called boring, and I get called boring way too often on YouTube. So I just kind of stopped talking about that because no one was really interested in it anymore, and I don't blame them. Like, I wasn't doing anything to lose weight anymore, but I've always like contemplated, because I would like to lose weight. Like, I'm not gonna be around the bush. Like, I would like to lose a little bit more weight. I just want to like tone up mainly, but I'm just very conscious about talking about things like that online now. Like, it's very different on social media than it was like 4 years ago. And also, like, I just feel like people are just gonna look at me and be like, you're fine how you are, like, we don't want to hear it, kind of thing. So maybe I just care too much about what other people think. I'm not too sure. I just feel passionate about like working out and eating healthy, so I would love to make more videos about that kind of side of my lifestyle, but I'm not sure if it's what other people are interested in. So I guess it's about finding a balance between what people are interested in, what I'm interested in, and merging. How is your relationship with food now? I'm not gonna lie, my relationship with food was doing really well up until the government passed a law that you now had to put calories on menus. And I know people have loads of different opinions on this topic. Some people are for it, some people are against it, some people don't care. For me personally, I never knew how much I used to struggle with food until like after I was kind of out of that mindset. And I'm not gonna lie, like, I am really struggling now with like eating out, and it's just hard for people who have had issues in the past with food, and I understand why it happened, but I just kind of wish that there was a different way to go about it rather than like it being there. Like, I know some restaurants have like menus without the calories, then I feel awkward asking for it. Like, I probably shouldn't care what other people think, but I just like, I don't want people knowing that I have an issue with it. Like, that feels like a personal thing, and I mean, I know I'm saying it on YouTube, but in person it's a lot different. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, my relationship with food right now has definitely done a bit of a 180, and I'd say I wouldn't say I'm struggling again, but I am finding it a little bit harder. I mean, I think I'm a lot stronger than what I was before. Like, I'm not giving in so much to like the thoughts in the back of my head about calories and stuff, but it has done, like, I have gone back a few steps, which is really annoying. I mean, I guess I could just stop going out for dinner, which doesn't seem like the answer, but I would save a lot of money. It's a bit of a grey area, me and food right now. I mean, I still love to eat food, and I had a great tuna pasta for lunch today. And finally, I thought this was a really nice question. How was your experience with therapy, and would you recommend it? And I don't believe I have. I'm not too sure. I have mentioned obviously before that I have had therapy before, but I don't think I've ever actually spoken about my experience with it and if I would recommend it. Now, I've been in therapy, I want to say like 3 or 4 times now. I think it's 3, but I can't really remember. And I went for multiple reasons. I am very lucky that I've been in the position where I can have private therapy, so I haven't gone through the NHS, because I know people obviously have to wait a long time. However, it's free. For me, I just went private because I needed help like then and there, and luckily I was in the position where I could pay to have that service. So I tried 2 therapists. I had one lot of therapy with one therapist. I just like didn't, like, nothing was like benefiting me. I went through like a really hard time in my life, and I just had like a lot of like trust issues and stuff, and it was just really hard. So I went to therapy for that to start off with, and it just wasn't really working. Like, every time this is no shade to the therapist, but every time I talk to her, like, I just cry and then come away feeling horrendous, and I didn't feel like it was benefiting me. So I then kind of like left therapy for like 6 months, and I went to a different therapist, and I freaking love her. Like, if I ever need therapy again, like, I'll be going back to her. But the second time I went to therapy was still for the trust issues thing, but also for my body dysmorphia. And then my most recent time that I went to therapy was to deal with grief. The thing is with therapy, like, you have to be ready to talk to someone, and you're not going to go to therapy and this person is going to like click their fingers and you're going to be okay. Like, there is a lot of work that goes into it, like, not to scare people off. Honestly, going to therapy for me was one of the best things. But those are all the questions that I'm gonna answer now. Hopefully I answered your question. Hopefully this wasn't too boring. I feel like I got really deep at the end there, so sorry about it if you weren't here for deep answers. I hope you all did enjoy this video. If you did, be sure to leave it a massive thumbs up, comment down below what you thought, and obviously if you guys aren't already, then make sure to subscribe to my channel. As I said, big announcement coming next week, which I'm so excited to tell you guys about, so make sure to subscribe, and I shall see you all very soon in a new one. Bye!